let's see if we have questions here. Raluca's mentioning how marketing is key, and it sure is. And what did she say here? Tough for me to read. Rene's been in hypnosis since 1996. A long time, huh? And yes, you can make money and a long, beautiful career helping so many people. It's been probably the most fun I've done. Now you can see I'm over 20 years old. Okay. So I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has been the most fun because of the variety. There's so many things, I mean, you can be doing clinical hypnosis, you can be doing comedy, you can do groups, you can travel. Raluca and I go on vacation once in a while. When we go to Florida or Virginia, we always choose a nice place and do a class while we're down there as an instructor. And the trip's pretty much paid for. So we usually do it in Jacksonville or Williamsburg. And if you've ever been to Colonial Williamsburg, it's a lot of fun. We had a nice place down there. They put us up in a hotel that had the training room next to it. And it had like a living room and a kitchen in the training room. And they were connected. So that was like having our own apartment. And right outside our window across the street was this place that was raising horses. So there were horses running in the field. It was a beautiful weekend. It was a vacation teaching as well as going to Williamsburg and the Oktoberfest over there. Let's see. Let me get this comment off. And just everyone's enthralled in it, but there's no questions. So let's see. Okay, moving on. If you can be hypnotized by a YouTube video, then yes, you can absolutely be hypnotized online. And the question is, and this is one of the top questions we get, is can you really learn hypnosis and be hypnotized online? So yes, you definitely can. And it's interesting because we always did things in person. Raluca and I, like I said, we traveled all over the country. And, we do classes at different places and we take vacation wherever we're doing class to pay off the vacation. And it was all tax deductible. But back then it was fun doing these trainings in hotels. And we rented, if we didn't have a hotel conference room, we'd rent maybe the Legion Hall or there was a medical college in Portland. And they rented us a big auditorium once. That was pretty fun. Those auditoriums where a lot of people can sit in there and it goes downward, almost like a theater. And there was a stage down the bottom. Well, we were at the bottom. We did the class over there, and that was kind of fun. And it was actually quite affordable. I was surprised. The price was a lot lower than we thought. So we did training all over the place in person. And then came COVID. I probably shouldn't say that online, right? And everything shut down. Matter of fact, we had a big training coming up that weekend when they shut everything down at the Hampton Inn in Saco. And I had all kinds of people. I think we had like 16 people scheduled. And all of a sudden I couldn't do it. The hotels weren't open anymore. They weren't open for that kind of thing. So I'm thinking, I'm going to cancel this class and there's going to be some upset people. And Raluca says, why don't we do it online? We've been doing sessions online once in a while. Let's do a hypnosis training online. We were one of the first places to do that, by the way. And we decided to do it. And we only lost one client, one person who was elderly and didn't know how to use the computer that much. So we lost one and we gained, I think, like 3 by doing it that way. And it turned out to be a wonderful class. I was like, wow, we were able to get personal with people in the private breakdown rooms that they have. We were able to train the whole group, be able to see everybody and critique them as they were doing it, demonstrations. Everything worked out great to the point where all my training is pretty much on Zoom from my office here rather than opening an office or renting an office. Matter of fact, I've had several offices and we've closed them all because the online works great. For big groups, I use Zoom, and for small one-on-ones, I use a company called StreamYard. They're my favorite one because it's a lot clearer than Zoom and has some, I guess you could say, opportunities within the program that you can't do with the other ones. Every program like this, Zoom or StreamYard or whichever one you're going with, has their own advantages. Some of them have good things, so weigh them out to see what you like. So with Zoom, you can hypnotize people as an individual, as a group. You can do pretty much anything you can do in person with the exception of touching, okay? And in hypnosis, there's very few situations where I would actually touch someone with the exception of healing. I stand behind them, put my hands on their shoulders, and I might do like an instant induction to say heal, give them a little, well, yeah, easiest way to say is instant induction. Not going to break it down too much. You want to know what it's about, how to do it, take my course. So, let's see. I had some notes here I wanted to go over with you folks. See, make sure okay. Advantages of, I guess, doing it online is people feel more comfortable. Think about that. Online, you're in the comfort of your own home. You can sit in your own recliner. You can lock your door. Don't worry about it. And that was a problem I had sometimes with having an individual office. People were nervous to come in the office. When they first get there, I had to calm them down. You always do a pre-session first, but I would do the pre-session to relax them and calm them down before we went into hypnosis, because they don't know me from Adam. They just drove from home, came down. They might have had a rough time on the street, maybe cars, tooting their horn at them, and, it might have been stressful. They get in the office, they're stressed. Now they're meeting this new guy. Hi, close your eyes. I'm going to hypnotize you. Yeah. So by the time they're sitting there, they might not relax as much as they should. When you're in your own home, that's not a problem. Okay. I mean, the worst that could happen if you didn't like me, I lost connection. Don't do that, but that could happen. No, never has yet. Okay. But so you're relaxed. You're doing it in your own home. You close your eyes and you feel safe. So yeah, I think doing hypnosis online can be a lot more comfortable. It can be just as effective. We usually have people wear a headset so they can hear us, you make sure no one's going to bother you. You don't want the dog coming in. A lot of people don't realize, but animals are attracted to hypnosis because they live in the alpha brainwave state, in that light, relaxed state. And when you're in hypnosis, you go through that, and it's like, all of a sudden they want to jump on you. Okay. So if you didn't put them someplace else, no matter how many times I tell people, put your animals outside the room. Oh, he'll be okay. He won't come on me. They're in hypnosis, and boom, the dog or the cat jumps on them, and they open their eyes. It's like, I told them, Now, also in hypnosis training, for instance, we're doing it on Zoom. You have the Zoom breakdown rooms, so you can have just as much individual practice as you would, one-on-one, as you would in a live training. I take you in a separate room in a live training, if you were doing it in, let's say, a hotel or something. But in Zoom, you can do the same thing. So if you have 10 people, you have 5 different breakdown rooms that you're in. And then you as the instructor could pop in from one to the other to check everybody to see how they're doing. Or if you, as a practitioner, want to do individual sessions, you can do the same thing. You can actually have several things going at the same time, or even I've done many group hypnosis sessions right here online. It works great in, let's say if I'm doing a group contacting spirits, which I've done many online, or a group past life regression, or a group parallel life. There's so many different areas you can do, future life progression. There's a lot of fun things. And so you can break them down into separate rooms, or you can do them all in one room. The neat thing about when you're doing past life regression, I love doing those online because I do a group where you're doing a generic past life regression. Matter of fact, in our free hypnosis manual that you can get from this video in the description, there's a past life regression session towards the end of the manual, and that's the exact one I use when I'm doing a group. So it's a generic one where I ask questions, but everybody would answer it because they're all having a different journey. And then after the session's over, I focus on one person at a time and ask them to tell me what they experienced. And it's amazing. That's the best part of the training. You have all these people that came for groups. They had their own experience, but they're hearing what everybody else did. And they're like, wow, he did so much more than me. Oh, he heard so much more than me. Oh, I like that one. And they're going to want to do it again. Okay. In other words, when you do your past life regression next week, because we used to do a weekly one every Thursday, they come in and they bring their friends, and you see those things grow pretty fast. So if you're charging $75, $80 a head, and you're having 15, 20 people each group, you can see as that grows how you can do. And I think with Zoom, you're allowed to have up to 100 people. On the free one, is it? I'm not sure. I don't have the free one. I'm actually paying for Zoom so I can have more people. So I pretty much have an unlimited, more than what I need on there. Yeah, I use StreamYard for up to 10 people. Over that, I go into Zoom because you can have big groups. So getting back to the initial question, can you really learn hypnosis and be hypnotized online? Yes, you can. Now, can I be hypnotized online? Just in case you don't believe me, I'm going to do a demonstration with you right now. Okay, is everybody ready? Here's what I want you to do. I'm not going to actually do a hypnosis session. I'm just going to show you how suggestibility works. You're just as suggestible right now as you would be in person. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit down comfortably and just relax and do the first thing that comes to your mind. Just let your imagination roam free. I want you to take your hands. I want you to put them together like this. Make a little goalpost, okay, this way here. And I want you to look between that space between your fingers. And as you're looking at that space between your fingers and keep staring there, I want you to imagine that I'm placing a rubber band around your fingertips. And you can feel that rubber band pulling your fingers closer and closer together. Closer and closer until they touch. And as soon as they touch, you can put your hands down. And I want you to imagine that I'm putting another rubber band around those fingertips, really thick, thick rubber band, and it's pulling them closer and closer, and they're coming tighter and tighter until they touch. Now, that's a suggestibility test that I just did with you. Some of you, your fingers went right together, probably the majority of you. Some of you, they went a little slower and then touched. Some of you, they went and they might have stopped. Some of you stayed the same way. And some of you went the opposite. Everybody had a response, though. The ones that went together, you're the non-analytical people. You're the, I guess you could say, the ones that go into relaxation or into hypnosis the quickest. The ones that didn't touch or went just a little bit, you're the analytical people, okay? You don't seem to relax as easily, but we do hypnosis different ways. Instead of relaxing you, I would keep your mind busy, because you're task-oriented. And when you do the task, that's when I hypnotize you. So we call it the confusion method. And those of you that went the other way, they're just plain ornery. Okay, you were trying to resist because you were saying, he's not going to get me, okay? Because in hypnosis, you can't be made to do anything you don't want to do, all right? And just in case that one didn't work with you, if you want to have a little fun, okay, I want you to do this other one, and I want you to go as quickly as you can. Follow what I say as quickly as you can without thinking about it, okay? Okay, wiggle your fingers, make a circle, make a gun, make another circle, look at your circle, look at my circle, put the circle on your chin. How many of you did this? Your chin is down here, okay? Okay, that's a fun one we do. When I tell people, do what I say as quickly as you can, you're not doing what I'm saying, you're doing what I'm doing. And the reason for that is just to show you how easy it is to, I don't know if I should say trick, or to give suggestion to the subconscious mind to do what I want you to do as a hypnotherapist. And my job is to get positive suggestions past that resistant mind into your inner mind, where all change is made. So if you'd like to learn more about hypnosis, remember, just go to the link below this video and you'll see the links to our hypnosis certification home study course to train at home, our live 3-day individual training one-on-one on Zoom, and our 6-day training, all there below this video.